Hello, Trojans. Now we're going to part 2 of the section 2.2 and 2.3 notes. This is subtracting real numbers, all right? To subtract B from A, you add the opposite of B to A, all right? So let's look at this. Algebraically, A minus B is the same thing as A plus, all right, negative B. All right, let's think about it this way. 14 minus 8 is the same thing as 8 plus a negative 4, or excuse me, 14 minus 8 is the same thing as 14 plus a negative 8, all right? So you find the difference. Be sure to write the problem as addition using the rule above first, okay? So let's look here how to do the first example. So negative 18 minus 3, okay, is the same thing as negative 18 plus a negative 3. When you add two things of the same sign, okay, you can just add up the regular numbers and then put the same sign. So it's negative 21. Okay. On B, you have a negative 9, okay, and minus a negative. That becomes plus a positive 12. If you're taking away a negative, it becomes plus a positive. 12 minus 9 is 3. Okay. C, you have 10 plus a negative 25. The highest absolute value is at negative 25. 25 minus 10 is 15. Since the highest absolute value is a negative number, we make that negative 15. All right, part D, it says 6 minus a negative becomes plus a positive. So that equals 14. Okay. Now in this one, we're going to have to deal with some fractions. No problem. We're going to make the common denominator a 6. So it's a 2 over 6 plus a negative 3 over 6. Okay, so we have 1/6. Since the negative 3 is a larger absolute value, it makes it negative 1/6. Okay, part F, okay, minus a negative becomes plus a positive. When that occurs, this is simply positive 16.7. Let's look here. G, trying to fool you a little bit. Okay, now on G, all right, you have negative 2 plus a negative 5 minus a negative equals plus a positive, and then plus a negative 8. So that's how you would write that out first. Okay, let's see. Which ones can we combine together? All right, let's do the first two together. Okay, two signs are the same and you're adding them, so that becomes a negative 7. All right. Negative 7 plus 6 plus a negative 8. Okay, if I were to put these two together, that equals a negative 1. Negative 1 plus a negative 8, right? That equals a negative 9. That's how you do that one. And finally, H, I'm going to have you do that on your own. Pause the video right now and then check and see if your answer is the same as mine. All right, for H, you should get 6.5. All right, we're going to move on to the last page of your notes for today. Example 5 says evaluate the expression for the given value of x. Okay, so they say x is 8, so we plug in 8 in for x. So 6 plus x plus a negative 11. All right, 6 plus 8 together equals 14 plus a negative 11. Okay. 14 plus a negative 11, that equals 3. Okay, on B, okay, we plug in a negative 12. So it's minus 14 minus a negative 12 plus 7. Minus negative becomes plus a positive. So it's negative 14 plus a positive 12 plus 7. Okay, we could do this one or two ways. What we could do is combine those two together first. So negative 14 plus 12 equals a negative 2 plus 7. Okay, that equals a positive 5. All right. I'm going to have you guys look at numbers or letter C. You're going to plug in that 7 in there. So it's 2 plus a negative 7 minus 4 minus a negative 3. Okay, so that negative gets carried to that 7. So in reality, this really does become right in here, okay, a negative 7. So it's 2 minus or plus a negative 7. Minus 4 minus negative becomes plus a positive 3. Put these two together, you get negative 5. Okay, put those two together, you get negative 1. Negative 5 minus or plus a negative 1 equals negative 6. Okay? I'm going to write that a little bit neater over here. Negative 5 plus a negative 1. Okay? And that equals that negative 6. Okay. All of you can do D on your own. Pause the video and then check your answer. You should got 28. All right. And then for part C, you should get negative 6.2. I want to remind you, when you plug in an absolute value, it becomes a positive. Okay. So you get 6.2. All right. Let's use the less strategy to solve this problem. And I want to remind you the less strategy, L-E-S-S. Okay. The L stands for label. Okay. So you need label and find which variable it is. E stands for equation. You need to create an equation. S stands for solve. And S, that last S stands for statement. Okay, so if you read the example, it says a furniture delivery driver is given 3 deliveries for the morning. The first delivery is 7 miles west of the furniture store. The second delivery is 14 minutes east of the first house. And last delivery before lunch is 3 miles west of the second house. How far is the delivery driver from the store after the last delivery? So it's like how far from. So you have initial starting point, okay, and then you move from that, okay. So we're trying to find out how far, okay. That's our question. And how far, okay, we want to know the distance. D stands for distance. It looks like it's in terms of miles, right? Okay, and we want to make a picture for that. And it had kind of over here. You can see you started furniture store, you went to the first house, then you went back here and you went that way. So it appears that we have an equation that looks like this. So you start at the furniture store, then you go back, so we can make that negative and that's positive. You go back, all right, minus 7. Then you started at negative 7, then you added 14 because you went positive that way. Then what happened is then you went back negative 3 that way, okay? We need to see what this is, okay? And when we solve negative 7 plus 14, that's 7. 7 minus 7 added a negative 3, that's equal to 4, okay? So we get 4 for the answer there. And we need to make a statement. Statement to sum up what we just put together is, says how far is the delivery driver from the store after last delivery? Okay. It's delivery driver is 4 miles away after last delivery. Okay, and that's your answer.